Okay, good morning to all of you guys. Happy Tuesday. Today it is September 27th, 10:06 in the morning. Today's training is on the residential listing agreement, car form RLAA. Yeah, I'm sorry, RLA. Yes, residential listing agreement. Okay. Today I'm gonna actually go through the almost at least 2 pages of the contract, because this contract is actually the moneymaker when it comes to our business. We definitely want to make sure we take listings and we take them accordingly based on our knowledge and skills and mindset. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into the share my screen. Okay, give me one. Here we are. And I believe you guys can see this, right? Yes. Can we see it? Yes.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay, so pretty much let's go through all the pages here. Let's let me make sure we go through all the pages. Okay, there it is. Let me move this to the side. Okay, so first things first, keep in mind that when you guys are helping a client, either a buyer or a seller, regardless of what type of business you know conduct and relate to that potential client of yours, it's always mandatory to always have, okay, a disclosure regarding real estate agency relationship. Okay, we got to start by to build this real estate agency relationship with your seller or your buyer. So please keep that in mind. Okay, always, no matter what, it's always a must. We always got to have it actually upon when you're getting ready to discuss anything about real estate. Okay, hopefully within the offer and hopefully within the listing contract. Okay, so I won't go into detail, but again, now if for whatever given reason, let's say for example, we have both Brenda's, Urena and Bailey, working together. Again, Urena, she's from the Southgate office, and Miss Bailey's from the Downey office. We know they're helping a seller in this case. They say that they come together to join forces, and Miss Bailey calls to Miss Urena, hey, I have a client who's Spanish speaking. Can you please help me? Yeah, Brenda Urena, she's going, okay, yeah, I'll definitely help you. So when it comes together, okay, keep in mind you guys are, yes, most likely to be a co-agency, right? But again, you guys are acting together as an agent to help that client, the seller. Now, just like Brenda Bailey, Brenda Rena also has to have her own real estate agency relationship with that seller, okay? And it says here, right here, okay, throughout your real estate property transaction, you may receive more than one disclosure form, depending upon the number of agents assisting in the transaction. The law required each agent with whom you have more than a casual relationship to present you with this disclosure form. Okay, so keep that in mind. If there's if there's an agent and a co-agent, okay, both of you guys must provide an agency disclosure to your seller or to the buyer. Okay, it is state law right there. The law requires that. Okay, so again, going back to Miss Bailey and Miss Urena, keep that in mind. Okay, so if you guys are working together as an agent and co-agent, okay, it's not just one agent. Again, each agent must provide this to that seller, because both of you guys are helping the seller on this transaction. Does that make sense? Are we good? We're solid? Yes? Awesome. Okay, let's move on. Okay, and again, a seller. So pretty much today we're going to start with Sally Seller. Okay, she's our seller. Okay, and first don't forget our listing firm, Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. And of course, our license number, it is 00338699. And then of course, your name goes right here at the bottom because you're the salesperson. And then your license number. There it is. Okay, that's it. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. We didn't page 2, we skip it. Continue going with this, and then of course, Fair Housing and Discrimination Advisory. Keep in mind that we cannot discriminate based on what, on color, sex, origin, religion, and 70 downs, right? So again, if you have a seller who's saying, you know what, I want nothing but Asian people on this community, okay, to buy, come to my house, please walk away. Thank you very much. And please let me know immediately. If someone wants to get a special preference to a race or sex or religion or who knows what, okay, please immediately, please walk away from the listing, okay, and notify me upon, okay, when this happens. Okay, so please, the last thing we want that you guys actually get caught on discriminating people because it was not your fault. Okay, so please be very careful when it comes to the fair housing and discrimination advisory. Okay, so it's just to let your clients to be aware that you cannot discriminate. In other words, we are colorblind. Okay, good. Let's move on with this. Next page, it's already there, savvy seller. When it comes to possible representation of more than one buyer or seller, disclosure and consent. Okay, this is just we're given already, we're trying to get a consent from the seller that there might be a possibility that you might represent multiple buyers and multiple sellers. As well, you might also be acting as a dual agency. Okay, now an agent and co-agent, that is not a dual agency. Okay, keep in mind, an agent and a co-agent is not a dual agency. A dual agency is when you have, for example, Brenda Urena and Brenda Bailey, different offices working with their own seller and buyer. Okay, that's a dual agency. As long as you have the same broker's license, okay, regardless of which office they work for, okay, they are dual agency. Same thing goes with you. If you're helping the seller and the buyer, Naomi, for example, you are a dual agency. Okay, please keep that in mind. Okay, all right, let's move on. Again, and also now, what does it mean working with multiple buyers? Keep in mind that yes, you might have a possibility that you might be working with multiple buyers. That, for example, let's say Miss Micaela has a listing in Southgate, okay, and you for what you have a buyer you're trying to actually put them to find them a property, right? And for whatever given reason, you came across Micaela's property, right? Well, good for you. You're trying to actually trying to keep it in the house, try to double end it and everything else. But guess what? You got another call from another agent, another buyer, right? Who you refer to, and they're kind of in the same scenarios. They look at something in Southgate, a 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, and now your job is, again, I know you don't want to fight over who's going to get the property, but again, since there are not that many homes in Southgate, for example, right? And that house is a turnkey, is priced to sell, has everything else what the buyer really wants, right? Now you're working with multiple buyers, right? For the same property. Now, is that legal? Yes, it is. But you got to disclose to that buyer that you also have another buyer who's also interested on the same property you just show the property to. Does that make sense? Yes?
Yes.
Good. Okay. Hold on, guys. Give me 1 sec. Let me stop real fast. I gotta do something real fast here. I apologize. Let me come back to you guys real fast. Okay, let me see. Hold on. Okay. Okay, good. Sorry for that. So what does it mean now working with multiple sellers? Okay, now same thing. Multiple sellers can be actually now you have multiple sellers who are you're trying to help, right? To list a property. Now this could be in the same neighborhood, same location, same area, same city, right? Now you may come across that maybe, for example, this property you're selling, right? This in Southgate or in Downey, right? And that house shows even has an immaculate turnkey, nice property, pool, family room and everything else, nice upgraded kitchen and so on, right? So it has all the upgrades. And you price it for so much, right? But then you have another seller, right? Maybe you did your door knocking in the area, and you came across another seller who also wants to sell their property in the same street, same neighborhood, but that property needs work. Again, it's a fixer-upper. Now they're saying, well, Freddie, well, what can my house sell for the same price as the one next door? Well, again, this is why. And again, you got to do what? Your comparables, your comps, and everything else, right? So again, this now you also need to let the seller be aware. Look, I have another seller that I was working in the same neighborhood, just to be aware. Okay, that's what it means working with multiple sellers. Okay, and we already talked about having a dual agency. We know what that means. Okay, now keep in mind that when it comes to offers, okay, offers are not necessarily confidential. Okay, offers are not necessarily confidential. Okay, this is based on practice. You know, there's a taboo going on that, well, it's illegal, it's unethical. No. It's all based on the practice of the real estate agent, the market, and everything else. Okay. Now, me personally, when I take listings, I always disclose the offers that come in. Now, why is that? Because I try to bring value to that listing. I treat it like an auction-based property. So, for example, let's say I put a house on for sale for $650,000, right? And then I get a call from Eddie. Hey, Eddie. Freddie says, hey, Eddie. He calls me. Do you have any offers to the property? I do not have any offers right now. I just went on the market today, but no offers. Okay, great. I have a buyer who's interested. Most likely, I will be submitting an offer. So Eddie goes back to his buyer. They submit an offer. Okay, and it came out again at full price, right? But then I get a call from Rodrigo the next day. Hey, Freddie, do you have any offers on this property? Of course, I have one offer that just came in yesterday. It came at full price. If your buyers like it, make sure to either to beat it or to match it. Now, we know that no buyers is going to match it. Most likely they're trying to beat it by a couple of $1,000 more. Because again, if a buyer really wants a property, they'll do whatever it takes to get the property, correct? We know that, right? You know how it is, right? Now, let's say I get another call from maybe Carolina Turcios, right? And I say, hey, Freddie, do you have any offers on this property? You know what, Caro? I have two offers that came in, actually, one on the first time and one yesterday. If your buyers are interested, go ahead and submit, either match it or beat it. And they might ask you, well, what is the sales price? Well, right now the highest offer is it's a $675. Okay, that is the highest offer that we have. $675, conventional, 20% down, so and so on and so on. Okay, now if I was Carolina, and I know that my buyers couldn't go that high because maybe they only got approved for 660 and they go in FHA, I wouldn't show this property because, again, first of all, I don't want to waste my time and their time on something that most likely is not going to get accepted. Now, if my buyer is willing, able, and ready to buy this property and can go up to 675, 690, then I would definitely want it. Well, there's already an offer already there at 675, 20% down. Well, if you're interested, either let's match it or beat it. So now what I'm doing, I'm bringing value to this property. And, and again, just to let you guys know personally, this has worked for me in my past and present deals that I have been doing real estate. And also can work in this market as well. Now, for this to work, okay, to make it actually more attractive and more value to this property, keep in mind that you definitely, when you list a property, please do not list it at market value. Try to market at least 2 to 3% below the market value. Why is that? Because now you're competing against the rest, right? Your house shows well, is turnkey, is upgradable, and everything, and has other features and upgrades and everything else. But now, if you see around the competition, right, most likely everything will be selling for above the market value or a market value. But your house is maybe 5,000-10,000 below that price. Now you're bringing value to the property. Now, most likely everyone's going to come see that property first before they see the rest. Now, that's my technique. It could work for you. It cannot. But again, if you want more ways how I present my listings, we could definitely talk actually after the training or an appointment in the office. Okay, so let's continue with this. Okay, but again, going back to the offers are not necessarily confidential. Please keep that in mind. Okay, seller's a seller. Okay, and then again, seller's brokerage firm. This is us, Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, and my license number. When it comes to wire fraud and electronic funds, okay, transfer advisory, please let your buyers be aware. that yes, there's a lot of scams going on when it comes to wire frauds and wire schemes, right? Keep in mind that people get crazy and happy, excited. Hey, my offer just got accepted. I'm about to open escrow. Okay, and there's a lot of predators out there looking for these people who post stuff online. Okay, and what they do? So most likely they send emails to your parties, your buyers or sellers, right? To let them know, hey, we changed the escrow company. We have a new routing number and a new ABA number and an account number. Please send your wire to this account number. Keep in mind that once a wire has been sent out, it can no longer be returned. Okay, retractable. Okay, again, once a wire goes out from that bank to another bank or different account, that can no longer be returned or canceled. Okay, so please be very careful for your clients not to fall on any scams or that goes on into this world. Okay, what I do when it comes to my buyers, I always encourage my buyers to please notify me first to let me know before they send that wire to escrow. So I could definitely confirm first from that escrow company to make sure that that account number or that routing number belongs to that escrow company. Always let your clients know, hey, you will get an email from escrow company, from ABC Escrow. But before you send that wired, please let me know. Don't go out on your own way to your bank and send the money without first confirming, because again, there's a lot of fraudulent activity going on, especially scams. And the last thing that I want is for you to lose your earnest money deposit because you send it somewhere else. Always make sure to confirm with me first before you send the money. Is that fair? Good. Okay, good. And then we move on. Okay, let's continue. Okay, this is your money maker contract. Okay, when it comes to listing agreements, keep in mind that this is a contract that you're gonna create with a seller. Okay, again, it could be single family residence, multi-unit properties, commercial, vacant land, probate, trust, manufactured home, whatever that is. This is a way to get paid. Okay, now keep in mind that when we're dealing with sellers, okay, it's our job to what? To always prepare, present, and close. Prepare, present, and close. Okay, always. We gotta prepare our disclosures, our marketing plan, our CMAs, our net sheets, our flyers, right? And our plan of action, right? So always prepare. Once we did present and then close, right? The ABCs of real estate, right? What are the ABCs of real estate? Who knows what are the ABCs?
Always be closing.
Always be closing. Always be closing. Always be closing. Those are your ABCs of real estate. Thank you, Eddie. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so when this is gonna be for a single family residence. Okay, car form RLA. Now, you may say, well, Freddy, can I use this for a multi-unit property? No, you cannot use this for a multi-unit property. Okay, that form for the multi-unit property, you got to use car form CLA. Okay, it's a residential and commercial listing agreement. Okay, so the CLA, okay, it is combined with a multi-unit property and commercial listing agreement. Okay, please keep that in mind. This is only for a single family, condo, townhouse, manufactured home, probate, or trust. It has to be a single dwelling. Okay, yes?
And 1 to 4 units, Freddy?
1 to 4 units is car from CLA, Eddie. CLA. And actually, let me show you guys what I'm talking about. Okay. Because I've seen this in our sky slope, then most of you guys, what you guys do, you guys actually list a multi-unit property and you just put it on the regular listing agreement. Okay, and again, that's not the proper disclosure or contract to use when it comes to 1 to 4 units. Okay, and here it is: commercial and residential income listing agreement may be used for commercial and any residential income properties, regardless of the units of numbers, right? Regardless of number of units, I'm sorry. So this is car form CLA. Yes?
Yes.
Thank you.
I only bring it up because 622, they replaced the RILA, remember?
Yes, sir. Correct. Okay, let's go move on. Okay, so going back to this. Okay, just like the RPA, okay, we all have a date prepared right there. Okay, and today is September 27. Okay, now keep in mind that right here you have seller's name. Now, most likely, if you have an entity, a trust, a POA, probate, executor, right? The name goes right here. So let's say Miss Sally Seller has, right, Seller LLC, it will go on top here. So the name of the actual entity will go up here. Keep that in mind, okay?
I don't have a copy of this residential listing agreement.
What do you have, Naomi?
I have California residential purchase agreement.
You printed the wrong one, my dear.
Well, it's the same. I mean, it came with the disclosure regarding real estate agency relations.
Yes, and you're right. So that those contracts or disclosures will come up with the RPA as well.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. So please take notes, Naomi, please. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
So thank you.
Okay.
Okay. So when it comes to any entity, it will go on the first little toolbar right here. Okay. But if there's no entity, then leave it alone and just put the name of your seller right there. So exclusive right to sell. So Sally Seller, right, is going to hire the broker, not you. It's going to hire the broker, right? Hereby employs and grants Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, the broker, the beginning date. Okay. Now today's date, you could start today's date, and we usually listing contracts will last. We usually it's a 6 months listing period. Okay. Usually it's a 6 months listing period. Okay. So this is going to take us all the way into it to March 31st. Now, when it comes to the beginning dates and the ending dates, might take when it comes to taking my own listings. Okay, keep in mind if I any listings that I take after the day 15 and on, I usually finish on the last day of the month, either the 30th or 31st or in February 28th, right? But anything after the 15, I asked my seller, would you mind if I finish this contract until the end of the month? And they might ask you, well, why is that, Freddy? Because I have better control of my days that way. And they don't question you. Again, they haven't questioned me. So again, anything that's after the 15, I usually finish the date on the last day of the month. Okay. Now, from maybe what about the first half of the month, 1 through the 14? Well, I just leave it on that day. So if today was the 8th, then I'll definitely finish this on the 8th as well. Okay. So I just keep it fair. But usually anything after the 15, I like to finish it on the end of the month. Okay. Now keep in mind another thing that when it comes to the beginning date is when the property should go on the market. Okay. It's when the property should go on the market. It's not this date here. Okay. This is the date it should go on the market. Now, okay. So can I modify the day it should go on the market? Yes, you may. Yes, you can. Okay. So if, let's say, for example, you have a seller who wants to do a little cleanup, touch up, painting, who knows what, right? And they tell you, hey, Naomi, you know what? I want to sign the contract today, which is Tuesday the 27th, right? But I don't want my listing to start maybe until next week, right? So what day next week would that be good for you, Mr. Seller? Well, let's start actually on October 3rd. Okay, great. So now that seller has at least 6 more days, right, to make any changes, painting, clean up, remove, trash, who knows what, right? So even though it has been signed today, excuse me, it's gonna start or begin on October 3rd. Okay, and again, so it's gonna take us now to what? To April 3rd, right? There it is. So keep in mind, this is your beginning date and your ending date, okay, from the MLS. Now, when the property goes into the MLS, right, or when you have this listing contract, it should begin on October 3rd, okay? How many days do you have to input and upload your listing onto the MLS? Within how many days? Or how many hours?
Between October 3rd and April 3rd?
Yes,
How
ma'am.
many-
Right. How many days, within how many days does this needs to be uploaded into the MLS?
I don't know.
2 days,
2
48
days.
hours.
Okay.
Carolina?
2 days.
Yes, thank you, Carolina. Yes, 2 days. So if today is October 3rd, okay, you have 2 days from the beginning date to upload it into the MLS. Now, can you upload before? Can you upload it today? Yes, you can. Okay. Yes, you can upload it into the MLS today, but it will not be shown as active. You can show it as coming soon. Coming soon. Okay. Coming soon. And this coming soon is going to be on October 3rd. Okay. Now, coming soon is only for what? For marketing purposes. You cannot show the property and you cannot take any offers at all. Okay, coming soon is coming soon. It's, for example, right? A great example is movies, right? Movies come out every Friday, right? But you probably get a trailer a month before if you go to a movie theater, right? Or YouTube says coming soon to your theater, right? Near you, right? So again, they cannot show the movie, right? You cannot see anything about the movie, but you can see what the trailer of the movie that is coming soon, right, to your nearest theater near you, right? That is same thing, same concept, coming soon. Again, you can market it. You could put actually say coming soon, but you cannot show it and you can't take any offers. That's your coming soon. Now, coming soon can be up to 21 days. Coming soon can be only up to 21 days. After the 22nd day, then that coming soon must go into active. On your 22nd day, that coming soon must go into active. Are we good? Yes? All right. Now, so, okay. So this is the best way to get something signed and begin on a future date. But right now, let's just leave it how it is. Okay. All right. Let's move on. Okay.
Freddy,
Yes, Claudia.
what if, let's just say, like right now you have September 27th,
Yes.
and you have 2 days to enter it into the MLS, but let's say the client says, oh, I need more time, even though the contract has already been signed and everything, but then he decides he wants more time to fix it or whatever.
Okay.
Do they have to write up another contract? Is there another form?
Great question, Claudia, and great you actually brought that up. So let's say today, you sign a contract and everything else, and they're already, ready to move forward. But they throw you a curveball, right? Hey, actually, Claudia, actually, I totally forgot to mention to you, I'm okay with the listing, but I need time. I need time to make some repairs to the property, touch up, paint here and there. But again, so for that to happen, right? Then you got to use car form SELM. Car form SELM. Okay, and that's going to give us an exclusion, right, from the MLS for a couple of days. And let me go back to that form. So let me guys show you that, okay? Because no, we don't want to sign a new contract. Okay, we want to use the same one. It's already there.
We're gonna come across that in the listing agreement, Freddie.
Yes, but just let me add it to my, okay, so yes. So hold on to the title, okay, Claudia. Now there's actually so Rodrigo's asking, how do you convince seller to go below market value? right? Okay, Rodrigo. So pretty much, Rodrigo, the way that I convince or the way I approach this to the seller, okay, is that I want to bring value to their property, okay? I want to beat the competition around his neighborhood, right? Because we know that buyers who are interested in properties, right, most likely to go with the best price out there, right? So if you go across the board, let's say every homes in that neighborhood, in that city, in that location, it's selling for 650, right? Well, you say, hey, Mr. Seller, look, let's do this. Let's attract more people, more buyers, right? And how is that? Let's drop the price, maybe 5 or 10,000 below your competition. Because instead of they're going next door, if your house shows well, clean, and immaculate, they want to come see your house first. And trust me, now we're creating a bidding war. Our goal is to create a bidding war on your home. Now, that's what you want, correct? And yes, most likely they will say, yes, I want a bidding war. I want to have multiple offers. Again, you rather have more offers than just one offer on the table, correct? So let's do this. Let's drop the price. And I guarantee you, if you also allow me to disclose all the offers that come in, I'm sort of bringing value, because again, it's just like chemistry, Mr. Seller, right? When things are hot, what happened? They rise, they go up. When things are hot, they go up, they rise, right? When things are cold, it goes down. And we don't want that. We want your house to be a hot home to sell. So let's do this, okay? Let's drop the price, okay? All right, so let's move on, okay? So the property is described as what? 1, 2, 3, 4, Main Street, okay? Situated where? In Southgate. And then of course, the county, okay? When it comes to the counties, please do not abbreviate your counties. And the zip code is gonna be 90280. The parcel number 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right? Okay, and that's your description of your property. Okay, so now if you have a manufactured home, okay, you need to attach what? Car form MHLA. Okay, this is an addendum. Okay, manufactured home listing addendum to this listing agreement. Okay, if you have a manufactured home, okay, that is situated in a park. Okay, now if this property is being sold as a part of a probate, conservatorship, guardianship, receivership, see the probate listing addendum and advisory car form PLA for additional terms. Okay, so again, if it's a probate, you need to use car form PLA as an addendum to this agreement as well. Okay, let's move on. Number 2, right? So if the house is going for 650, I would definitely put it for what? 635, right there. Okay. Now, to be or not to be, that is a question. All right. So when it comes to listing terms, okay. Now, please open your mic, put it in the chat box. What do you guys think, or what have you guys used if you have taken a listing in the past? What have you guys put here when it comes to listing terms?
FHA, conventional. I haven't listed, but that's what I've seen.
Okay.
But
that's on the MLS, right, Brenda?
oh yeah, what do you mean when you say terms?
Right here. Well, again, the key here, the key word is listing. So any terms, any changes we want to create is going to be based on the listing terms.
Okay.
Okay. So what do you think we could put there? Any changes, any modifications, anybody? And again, we're not here to judge. We're here to help.
Maybe a change in price if it doesn't sell within X number of days, something like that.
Yes, very good, Justine. Yes, that could be a listing term. Yes, so
like
we could definitely
reduction or something like that.
Yes, so
No.
so we could put actually if no offers, right? No offers, no activity. Or traffic, right? sales price, okay, within 2 weeks, seller agrees to lower the price to, and then we could go 620, for example. So you already seen from the get-go, Mr. Seller, look, if there's no offers, no activity or traffic within 2 weeks, you agree to lower the price at 620. So that's a good, actually, good listing term. If we definitely do on that. Okay, my light went off. What other term can we use? Or anything else we could do?
Freddy, this is a spot where you put in if the seller happens to negotiate whether you double end it.
Yes, that could be another one, right? Yeah. So let's say you know, you try and get that listing, right? And of course the seller say, okay, I'll give you the listing, Eddie, but this to this. If you find a buyer, right, instead of a 6%, which you're charging me, I want you to charge me 4%. Okay, that's fair. Let's do this. Okay. So in this case, okay, do not please, and I have seen this also in our Sky Slope as well, do not put the name of the broker. Put your name as a agent who's going to represent that buyer. Okay. So if Eddie Urrutia represents the buyer and seller, okay, commission shall be, right, 4%.
Yes.
Okay, 4%. Now, why do we want to put our name and not Berkshire Hathaway Home Services? Because if Berkshire Hathaway Home Services represents the buyer and the seller, right? Now you're saying that anybody on this broker firm, right? Whoever brings out the buyer is going to get paid 4% or 2%, 2 on each side, which we don't want. So this is why you want to put your name instead of the company's name. Does that make sense? Okay, and where's my, what up here? Okay. Okay, so please keep that in mind. Okay, now, yes, we never put actually Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. Any other term that you guys can think of? Anybody else?
Freddy,
Yes, Carlitos.
can it include like say an adjacent parcel of land there? Properties to be sold with adjacent land?
Well, if it has a different parcel number, Carlos, that would be another listing contract. Now, go ahead, Carlos.
Oh, because sometimes there's properties that have like a very small parcel, minimal with a different APN, and they want to include it. Maybe it's
With the sale.
landlocked. Or,
Okay. Yes. So yes, we could definitely. Yeah. So we could definitely. Yes, that's correct. Actually, and I had that experience back in 2020, right? So you know, you could say parcel.
Testing.
Okay, parcel 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Must be sold with this property, right? With this parcel, right? Combined, right? Yeah. So yes, Carlos. Now, but keep in mind, okay, you also gotta create a new listing for that small parcel, which is adjacent to the property as well. But yes, you could definitely say, you know, we want to sell both properties or both parcels combined together. Okay, if we get an offer on this one, if the other one doesn't sell, right, then we cannot sell this one at all. So yes, so parcel must be sold together with this property, right? Okay, yes, okay. So that's a very good, okay. So again, that's your listing term, okay. Now right here, we don't put actually the seller needs to find a replacement property. We don't put nothing that it's only gonna be conventional or FHA, none of that. This is going to be based only on terms of the listing, of the entire listing itself. Okay, this is going to be based on the any changes or modifications to the listing itself. Okay, so let's move on. When it comes to commission, okay, compensation to broker, notice the amount of rate of a real estate commission is not fixed by law. They are set by each broker individually and may be negotiable between seller and broker. Real estate commissions should include all compensations and fees to broker. Now, you know, we had a class with our legal counsel, Bill Johnson, maybe about a month ago or so, right? And when it comes to TC fees, we can no longer charge TC fees to our sellers, right? So how do we get that TC fee to be charged to the seller, right? Well, keep in mind that everything here, the commissions already include what? Compensation and fees to broker, okay? We cannot charge another fee on top of that, the commission that we're already charging up front. So if you don't want your TC fee to come out of your commission, okay, out of your 6%, then he encouraged us to do what? To charge 6.25. Okay. Yes, Brenda?
No, I was listening. I was like, okay.
Oh, okay. So yes, okay, you could charge 6.25, right? Because that quarter, right, is going to be part for your TC fee. Now, keep in mind that the quarter is going to be more than $400 or whatever you guys actually pay to your TC fee, right? And the excess or the difference, it will come back to you, right? But, or you could do maybe 6, what? Is that lower or higher? What's less than 0.25?
0.25, I believe.
Right, that's right, 0.25, right? Yeah. So yes, so in case they ask you, why are you charging me 6.25? Well, that's my commission. That's it. You don't have to give an explanation why. Okay. But now keep in mind that when it comes to TCs, okay, keep in mind the TCs do not work for your seller. They're working for you. Okay. Even though, yeah, we charge that $450, $500, $400, whatever that fee it is. Okay. The job of the TC is to work for you. They're helping you. They're helping you to get all the paperwork out of the way, right? Because you're out there prospecting, producing, closing, negotiating, and everything else. Okay. So the job of the TC is to help you, not help the seller. Okay. So let's move on. On 3A2. Okay. Now right here, I want to put 180 days. Okay. Now, what is this for? Okay. Now, please, let's read along. Okay. If within 180 days or calendar days, right after the end of listing period, or any extension, or after any cancellations of this agreement, unless others agreed, sellers enters into a contract to sell, convey, lease, or otherwise transfer the property to anyone, prospective buyer, or that person related entity who physically entered and was shown the property during the listing period, or any extension by the broker or cooperating broker, or from whom broker or any cooperating broker submitted the seller a signed written offer to acquire, lease, exchange, or obtain an option to purchase the property, right? Now, this is key here for you guys, okay? Now, why is that? Because we're saying that if for whatever given reason, okay, let's say March 31st or now April 1st comes around, right? And that listing never sold, it expired, right? This listing, it expired. But now you're saying that, Mr. Seller, just to let you know, if someone comes back within 180 days, okay, and I give you a list of all these prospect buyers that came in and who wrote an offer, and you pretty much refuse those offers or decline, right? And they come back and purchase this property, right? And you change and transfer this property to someone else, guess what? I'm going to be entitled to that commission. So you're saying I'm asking for another 6 months more if someone comes to buy this property with the next 180 days after this property has been canceled or has expired. Okay, so please keep that in mind. Okay, so you're saying if somebody comes back and wants to buy the property, because again, we know a lot of sellers who are sneaky, right? That yes, they want to wait until the contract party expires, and they try to actually pursue it to someone else who came to see the property. And you say, it might say, you know what, just wait. My property is about to expire, and I can sell it to you, owner to owner, seller to buyer. And that way I don't pay commission, and I can give you a better deal. Okay, please keep that in mind that this is going to help you to get another additional 180 days if someone comes back and buys property. Okay. Okay. Number 3, if, right, without broker's prior written consent, the property is withdrawn from sale, conveyed, leased, rented, otherwise transferred, or make unremarkable by a voluntary act of sellers during the leasing period or any extension. Okay, so keep that in mind. All right. Letter C, seller agrees to pay broker. Anything else right here? Again, we can no longer charge any TC fees. The TC fee is going to be on your commission. Okay, keep that in mind. All right. When it comes to letter D, okay, this is going to be how much you want to pay the cooperating broker. Okay. Now, how much are we getting paid? 6% for the entire leasing contract, right? But now on D, right, on 2D, right? I'm sorry, on 3D is how much I would like to pay the cooperating broker who brings a buyer who wants to buy or list, I'm sorry, whoever wants to purchase my property that I have for sale, right? In this case, I always recommend you guys to please always keep the most money for yourself and give the least to the other broker. Now, if you want to be fair, yes, you could go 3 and 3, right? But again, who went out of their own way to market, to look for the seller, to prospect, to make flyers, to do everything, right? It's you, okay? So please, I encourage you guys to please always charge 4 and keep 2, or if you want to be fair, go 3 and 3. It's okay, but please never go 4. Never go 4 and keep 2, okay? Please never go less than the commission you're paying to someone else. Okay, always keep it equal or more, or maybe you could go 2.5 if you want. All right. All right, let's move on. On letter F, seller represents that seller may have, I'm sorry, seller represents that seller has not previously entered into a leasing agreement with another broker regarding the property unless specified as follows. Now, why do we need to know if that seller has entered into a contract with someone else? Why is that? Because if that seller has a contract with someone else, right, most likely they will get paid and will not get paid. Now, is this an open listing, right? If this was an open listing, most likely the seller will hire a lot of agents, right, to list a property, and whoever brings that buyer is gonna get paid. Okay, so that's why we definitely gotta be careful. Okay. Okay, so now in this case, you gotta be careful. Okay, so that seller has not entered into another contract with someone else, because you'll be working for peanuts or for free, in other words. Okay. Now, number 2, seller warrants the seller has no obligation to pay compensation to another broker regarding the property unless property is transferred to any of the following individual or entities. Okay, so right here, okay, the seller may say, you know what, Jorge, just to let you know, I have a buyer who's interested. Actually, it's my neighbor next door. Okay, my neighbor next door wants to buy my property. Okay, well, what is his name? Okay, well, his name is John Doe. Okay, well, okay, perfect. You know, well, if John Doe buys the property, I will not pay you any commission. Is that fair? Well, you might not like it, but it is fair, okay? Because he's letting you know from the beginning that he has no obligation to pay compensation, okay, to any broker, right? if it's been transferred to the following individuals or entity. Okay, so the name will go here. But now let's go back to letter to B, right? Okay, so ladies, I need a lady, okay, here on this call. So ladies, I'm not trying to be picky or be sexist in any way or form, okay? But ladies, when you guys go shopping, and if you guys see a nice pair of shoes or a dress or a blouse or something or an accessory you guys really like, do you guys buy it on the spot, or you guys come back tomorrow the next day to buy it? Who wants to volunteer and answer that question? Do you guys buy it on the spot right there and then? Or you guys, okay, I'll think about it, come back tomorrow. But you guys really like that, the shoes, that dress, that blouse, that accessories. Anybody wants to answer me?
Out on the spot.
Right on the spot.
Why is that? Because tomorrow it might be too late, right? That's how it is, right? And again, without the respect, right? And we know because, hey, if I see those nice pair of shoes, if I come back tomorrow, most likely they might not be available. They might not have my size, right? Or they might run out, right?
Exactly.
You know that. And that's how it is. Even for us, the guys, right? If we see a nice little gadget, maybe a pair of pants, maybe some glasses, who knows what. Hey, you know what? I like them. I look cool. I look great. I'm going to buy them. I'm not going to go home and think about it, right? Now,
I wait a day.
what, Jorge?
I wait 1 day.
One day. Right. And the beauty when it comes to right, retail, that if you don't like that item, right, you always go back to the next day and what? Return it back, right? We know that, right? We have a 30-day return period policy, or 14 days, depending on the retailer, right? But again, so now, why do I bring this up? Right? Same thing goes with the buyer, right? And Brenda Bailey knows this, right, Brenda? You have shown properties to multiple buyers out there, and multiple buyers are willing, able, and ready to buy a property. And when they see something, what? Let's make it the offer. Is that correct, Brenda? They don't wait, they don't think about it. They said, let's do it. Let's go back to the office. Let's write the offer, right? So if a buyer who's interested in buying, for example, this property, right, they will do whatever it takes to get pre-qualified, get pre-approved, right, and then submit an offer, right? So now let's go back to here. So let's say, for example, okay, no, if the seller wants to take away my compensation because John Doe, next door neighbor, wants to buy this property, right? Okay, so let's give him right? Let's give him actually a grace period, right? Okay, so if buyer, so does not makes an offer. Now, what do you think is be fair? 24 hours, 48 hours for the seller to come in, get up and submit an offer? I would say 48 hours, just to
Yeah,
be,
me too. 2 days.
okay. Okay, if buyer does not make an offer, okay, so in this case, we gotta put the name of the client. If John Doe, okay, with definite, does not make an offer, does not make an offer within 48 hours, okay, agent will market the property and onto the MLS, right? And get compensated, right? So now we put in a deadline, right? To this, because again, you don't want to go and wait, and then maybe a week after or 2 weeks after he comes back. Hey, actually, well, guess what? Remember that John, my neighbor next door, that I once spoke to you about? He's ready to make the offer. He's ready to come in and get it going. Well, again, you work all this, and at the end, he decides to sell the property to the neighbor. So you will be actually out of commission and out of a sale, which we don't want. Okay, so definitely gotta put a timeline or time frame, right, to to let your seller be aware, look, okay, he better make an offer within 2 hours or within 2 days. And if he doesn't, I'm gonna go ahead and market the property to get paid. Okay. Any questions on page 1?
None.
None? No questions? Okay. Let's move on.
Freddy,
Yes.
I was thinking about the, lack of commission if the neighbor buys. Can you negotiate that he pay for any expenses that you inquire?
Yes. Like what kind of expenses do you want?
No, just promote. If the neighbor
Marketing?
doesn't buy in 48 hours, marketing and paper that you buy and things
Yeah.
like that.
And you gotta
anything
put it
that
here,
you
Jorge.
place in there.
You have to
Okay,
put it, you
got
gotta
it.
put it here. Yeah. So tell to pay for marketing materials, right? Marketing, whatever that, right? All that. Yes. So we'll go right here.
Gasoline.
Yes, sir. And yes, you could charge actually for marketing. Okay. Page 2, right? Property address on top, the date. Now, right here, when it comes to items to be included or excluded from the sale, right? And we know what is real property and what is personal property, right? Real property is anything that's attached to the wall through a screw or something that goes from one object to the next, right? Through the wall, right? That is considered real property.
And
A
foundation-
TV mount. Yes, Eddie?
And the foundation.
Foundation? What about the foundation?
It's like a structure outside that's braced to the that's bolted to the foundation. I mean, to the ground. That's real
Yes.
property.
Yes, correct. Yes.
So they have a gazebo in the back. They can't just take it with them.
No, they can't. No. If it has a gazebo bolted or grounded to the floor, yes, that's actually real property. But again, people are people, right? Okay, so personal property is anything that is what? Removable, right? Can be taken with you guys, right? Again, a dishwasher, is that real property or personal property? Naomi?
All depends. If he is made to
No.
fit the area, it's not.
No,
No. Yes. I'm sorry, Jorge. You asked me there, Jorge.
No, I was saying that it depends. If you fit the exact area and it's attached, I don't think won't be.
Yeah. Again, keep in mind, if it's attached, it's real property.
Mhm.
Okay. And Naomi, you're correct. A dishwasher is not real property, it's personal property. Okay. So right here, we definitely got to put down what's included or excluded. Now, if you have a list of items, they're going to be included or excluded, and it might not fit here, please attach an addendum. Okay. See, attach addendum. Okay. And you want to put actually all the items, right? They want to include. Okay. You want to have actually an inventory control. Maybe they want to sell it with the dining set, refrigerator, washer and dryer, beds, TVs, everything. Again, they want to pretty much sell everything with the house. Okay. They just want to pack and go. They don't care. Again, including the wife. Wow. Just kidding. I'm kidding with that.
Easy go.
Take my wife. No, of course not. All right. So yeah. Or things that are excluded, right? Washer and dryer, refrigerator, right? All that good stuff. Okay. Okay, let's move on. 4B, right? Lease are not own items. Okay. Things that are okay. What are things that are being leased? It could be a solar panel, alarm systems, propane tanks, water softeners, right? Or others, right? Lean items. It could be the same thing. It could be solar panels, right? Windows, doors, heatings, ventilations, AC systems, and others, right? This would be things that are being lean. Now, things that are lean, they're actually most likely on a separate loan, attached to the taxes, who knows what, right? So you always gotta address what are lease and what are lean. Now, a good tip for you guys, when you guys, hello, okay, when you guys go and take a listing, please preview the property, okay, and look up onto the roof if it has any solar panels. Always look onto the roof to see if it has any solar panels, either from the front or from the back, okay? Because if it does, you always want to ask, are those panels being leased or being leaned? In other words, Are you paying for them or you're renting them? Okay, because if they're being rented, right, most likely they're in a contract, and when that contract expires or terminates, most likely they'll see they gotta pick them up and take them away. If they're being purchased, same thing, right? Most likely they're paying those panels on top of their payment or something else, right? And this then this can be a deal breaker. Okay, keep in mind, this can be a deal breaker for a typical buyer. Please keep that in mind, okay? Because again, if a buyer who is on a budget, okay, who wants to buy a property and their budget is only $2,500 a month, but they have some panels they're trying to buy, for in this case, your property, and they gotta pay an additional $200 more for the solar panels, most likely they will not be able to qualify for the loan unless the seller is generous, right, and is willing to pay for the lien item, right, or to terminate the lease as well. Okay, so please keep that in mind. Okay, all right. Any questions when it comes to lease or lien items or personal property included or excluded or real property? No questions? We're good? Awesome. Okay, let's move on. Okay. Okay, what is the MLS? Okay, now what is the MLS? The MLS is the what? The multiple listing services, right? Is the database of properties for sale that is available and disseminated and accessible by all other real estate agents who are participants and subscribers to the MLS as set forth in paragraph 7. Now, keep in mind that all MLSs, okay, we don't belong to all the MLSs, okay? There's multiple MLSs in different regions, different counties, different cities throughout California, okay? But we know that we belong to what? Which MLS do we belong to? And we don't say Downey Board of Realtors, don't say Rancho Southeast, don't say Power, okay? We belong to California Regional Multiple Listing Services, CRMLS. That's our MLS that which we belong to, okay? And that will go right here, CRMLS, okay? Because that's who you belong to, okay? The broker, okay? The broker belongs to this MLS, right? We're either a participant or a subscriber, okay? So now, what if you're selling a property in San Diego? Even though, yes, we're able to look at the properties from San Diego, right? But guess what? They have a different MLS. Their MLS is Sandicor, okay? Their MLS, their local MLS is Sandicor, okay? Yes, you belong to CRMLS, but guess what? You also gotta notify that seller that what? That MLS is or is not the primary MLS for the geographic area for the property, okay? So CRMLS, okay, if you have a property for sale in San Diego and you took a listing in San Diego, you gotta let the seller to be aware, look, I belong to the CRMLS in LA, but CRMLS is not the primary MLS for this geographic area. The primary MLS is Sandicor. Now, most likely, okay, can you take a listing? Yes, you can. But the best way is to join the local board in San Diego as well, because keep in mind, just like the MLSs, okay, they also have different lock boxes, okay? They also have different lock boxes to get into those properties, okay? San Diego have what they use is called a Sentry lockbox, okay? And I believe also Lancaster as well. They use a Sentry lockbox. They don't use a Supra lockbox, okay? So in case you want to go and take a listing in San Diego and you put your own lockbox, which is a Supra lockbox that we have nowadays here in our areas, okay? Keep in mind that lockbox will not be accessible by any agent unless they have a Supra lockbox application in their phone. So how can you sell that property? Well, you got to go to the local board and buy yourself a Sentry lockbox to put it there in that home. Now, can you put a combo lockbox? Well, you can put a combo lockbox, but it's not always the safest. Okay, a combo lockbox is not always the safest to put there. Okay, why is that? Because again, a lot of agents will disclose and will provide that combo lockbox to the buyers because a lot of agents are lazy. A lot of agents work full-time jobs and they allow their own buyer to go and check the property for themselves, and they don't include and they don't go on their own. Okay, they don't go with their agent. So please do not have combo lockboxes for your listings. Invest in your services, invest in your products, okay, and buy a super lockbox if it's local. If it's out of the area, maybe they offer super lockboxes, but you gotta get actually decoded and encoded for that particular MLS for that region. And now that board doesn't actually have Supras, then you gotta have the associated lockbox for that particular area. So any questions when it comes to MLSs and lockboxes, and also joining the boards? We good? Now, to join a local board for that area, that city, the county, okay, keep in mind that also Berkshire Hathaway, the broker, must be a subscriber. Okay, you cannot go on out of your own. Let's say you, again, going back to San Diego, okay, you've taken the listing and you want to be a member for the local board. Keep in mind that the broker, which is Berkshire Hathaway, okay, our president Dennis Rosas, okay, must be a subscriber for the local board before you can also join that board as well. Okay, so before you go out of your own way, find out, get other information. How much would it cost the broker, Berkshire Hathaway Home Service, to become a subscriber? Okay, because again, they gotta pay their fees, and you also gotta pay your own fees as well. Okay, so you say, well, Freddy, but it's not fair. Again, I'm already paying my fees here in LA, in Downey, in Southgate. Well, again, to sell a property outside your local MLS, sometimes you gotta be a member of that local MLS as well. Okay, so is that fully understood? Yes, we're good. Good. Okay, let's move on. Okay, now what are the benefits of using the MLS and the impacts of opting out of the MLS? Well, again, we know that the benefits that we could have the MLS that most likely is going to go into Zillow, Trulia, Redfin, Realtor.com, and all this bunch of websites. Your listing is going to be uploaded to the sources, right? Now, if the seller decides to opt out from the MLS, well, most likely it's not going to get listed on the MLS. That's one thing, right? It's going to go to, it won't go to Zillow, Trulia, or any other websites. Now, keep in mind that once your listing goes into the MLS, okay, it's going to go to all these different sources, okay? And once that property has been closed, okay, or canceled or expired, okay, we, the agents or the broker, doesn't have any authority or any possible ways of removing that listing from Zillow, Redfin, or anything like that, okay? In the past, through my other office that I worked before, you know, we had a seller who was very upset and furious, okay, and upset at their agent because that property closed and it was still showing active, okay, in Zillow. I don't know how that happened, and people were still knocking on their door and seeing, well, can we see the property? And he said, well, I want you to call Zillow and remove it. Guess what? We cannot. Again, we have no ways or no means to contact Zillow to remove it. Again, there's customer service, but their service is not the greatest. Again, you could maybe do a request, but again, those requests often they don't go as good. So please keep it in mind. Notify your seller. Look, once it goes to the MLS, it's gonna go to all different sites, and once we close, most likely it might remain active, it might remain closed, but the pictures and everything else will remain onto the internet. Okay, now, can you opt out from these other websites? Yes, you can. You go opt out. You can only have it only active on the MLS. but you could choose not to have it on another website as well. Okay, and that they give you a little option on the MLS. It's actually 2 little boxes. It says opt out from Zillow and Trulia, and in their websites selected yes. Okay, and that's only when you're inputting your listing in the MLS. So please keep that in mind. Okay. Same thing, local boards. Okay. Just because actually, again, our CRMLS covers a big region of Southern California. Okay. Keep in mind, there's some little pockets that our CMLS doesn't reciprocal with those other MLSs as well. Okay. So you might not get the full exposure, okay, of that property if in outside regions. So if you want, if your job is to get it fully exposed to multiple regions, then you gotta be a member for that local board that the CMLS does not cover. Okay, so please keep that in mind. All right, let's move on. Number 7, marketing, public marketing of the property. Okay, the clear cooperating policy MLS rules requires or does not require, see paragraph 7, that residential real property with 1 or 4 units and vacant lot listings be submitted to the minutes within 1 business day for any public marketing right there. Okay, so we definitely want to, if it's not or if it is, okay, but again, leave it alone because we definitely want to market the property. Okay, now coming soon, status impact on marketing. Days on the market, DOM. Okay, seller is advised to discuss with broker the meaning of coming soon, and that term applies to the MLS in which the property will be listed and how any coming soon status will impact when and how a listing will be available to the public via the MLS. Seller does not, okay, does or does not authorize broker to utilize coming soon status, if any. Seller is fully advised to discuss with broker how any DOM, which is days on the market, calculation, or similarly utilized tracking fields work in the MLS and which the properties will be listed for, right? So again, keep in mind that coming soon, right? Those days will not impact or affect the days on the market. Let me repeat myself. If you're gonna put a house for coming soon status, keep in mind you have 21 days, right? So after the 22nd day, automatically it's gonna go to active, and that's gonna be your day 1. Okay, it's gonna be day 22 days on the market. Okay, so after the day 22nd, it's gonna go to day 1 or day 0 on the market. Okay, so please keep that in mind. So coming soon does not count against your days on the market. Okay, so now letter D, seller instructs brokers. Okay, now then the MLS may require car form SELM or local equivalent form. Seller instructs broker to market the property to the public or to start marketing on the beginning date of this contract or agreement, right? So going back to your question, Claudia, okay? So Claudia was asking, well, what if I already signed a contract, initial and everything else, but the seller says, you know what, Claudia, I forgot to say this, but I want to do some painting, some renovations, maybe fix a carpet, change it, who knows what. Okay, great. So I'm gonna actually now exclude it from the MLS. Okay, and I'm gonna go back to my car form, SELM. And that form is gonna give me the options to exclude it from the MLS for days, date, or for the entire listing contract. Okay, so let me bring it here. Let me make it big, and there it is. Okay, so this is gonna be the form that we gotta use to exclude it from the MLS for days, or to a date, or for the entire listing period. Okay, so seller's instructions to exclude listing from the multiple listing services and days on the market. Okay, now when it comes to this addendum or to the listing agreement or other, right? Now dated. When was the listing contract dated? Well, when was it prepared? It was prepared today, right? So this dated, it's the date prepared on the listing contract. So today's date, okay? And again, who Who do we belong to? CRMLS, right there. Now we scroll to the bottom. Okay, and right here. Now the seller has not opted, right, to remove the clear policy, but again, right here, D1, 2, and 3. So Claudia, let's say that even though today was the 2 days, we got 2 days to put it into the MLS, and the seller said, you know what, well, I need some more time. Okay, well, how much time do we need? You need days, or you want to give you a specific date to put into the MLS? Well, just give me at least 5 days. Okay, perfect then. I'm gonna give you at least 5 days, right? From the beginning date to not put it into the MLS, right? So the beginning date is gonna be 5 days for the beginning date. So that date is gonna be when? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the property should go onto the MLS on on October 2nd, which is a Sunday. That's 5 days. Okay. Keep in mind that today is day 0. Tomorrow is day 1. Okay. And then count your 5 days. Or if you want to give it a specific date, well, okay, let's give it until maybe on October 3rd, right there. Okay. Monday, October 3rd. Okay, until this date is not gonna get actually exposed or market the property to the MLS. Okay. Or if the seller says, you know what? Nah, I just don't want my property to be what? Marketed to the MLS at all. So during the entire listing period, provided in the agreement. Okay, so again, so the property is gonna be off the market for the entire listing period. Yes? So there it is, okay? Or right here at the bottom right, seller instructions to the broker to exclude property from MLS. This paragraph 4 applies unless 3D is checked, right? Do not market the property immediately. Begin marketing the property to the public on, or do not market the property to the public during the entire listing period, right? Only if what? If 3D is checked right there, right? And of course, they sign. Now, right here, please be very careful, okay? Now, who's the broker or who's the office manager?
You.
Exactly. I have to approve it, okay? Or the broker, Mr. Dennis Rosas, the president, okay? You guys don't have the right to approve a listing to get removed, excluded from the MLS, okay? Because who owns the listings? The broker owns the listings, right? Who is the seller going to hire to sell the property? The broker, right? So I have seen that you guys put your own name here and you guys sign it. No, no, no. I will call it on you guys on SkySlope, okay? I have to approve it. Please, my name, and please write down my license number, okay? My license number, it is 0175 0160 0175 0160. Please keep my license with you guys. Okay, because yes, I will have to approve it. Okay, and put my name right there. Okay, so any questions on the car form SELM? We're good, Claudia? Does that answer your question, Claudia?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, let's go back to the listing contract now. Okay, that's my listing contract. Okay. Now, okay, so besides the SELM, okay, there's another form as well, okay? So any questions on page 2? We're good? Page 2, we're covered? Yes? Okay. Page 3, okay? Seller instructs not to market the property to the public. Seller understands that no public marketing will occur, and the scope of marketing will consist only of direct on one-on-one promotion between the brokers and licensees affiliated with the listing brokerage and their respective clients. Okay. Now, there's another form, car form SELI. Okay. SELI. Okay. This form is to exclude it from the internet or from the MLS, right? Now, what is the purpose of the car form SELI? Well, the purpose of this form is to exclude certain criterias from the MLS or from the internet. Okay, maybe your seller does not want to disclose their address. Maybe they don't want to disclose the city. Maybe they don't want any pictures. Okay, maybe they don't want to disclose anything else on the property. Okay, or the internet, right? And this is a form to use, okay, to exclude certain criterias from the property. Now, why would a seller would like to exclude some items or pictures from the MLS or even their address?
Historic property.
What
They are
property?
famous. Historic property. They are famous. I don't
Yes.
know.
Yeah. It could be a famous celebrity, right? Then they don't want nobody else to know where they live, right? But again, there's Google. Google knows everything. Google finds the celebrities, right? Tom Cruise, Keanu, Brad Pitt, George Clooney, Denzel, right? You can find them all. So regardless if they say no, again, but yes, we could definitely exclude their addresses from their MLS, right? Including pictures, right? Now, keep in mind that pictures or even 3D virtual tours, right? Sad to say, it gives a roadmap to the property. Now, why is that? Just like nice people, good people who are looking to buy properties, there are also bad people out there who are looking to steal, to break into properties, right? And yeah, it is sad to say that, yeah, many homes have breaking into, right? Especially nowadays, you know, things are getting out of hand, right? Smash and grab, right? People come in, especially if you have pictures or 3D virtual tours. Again, yeah, it's a good way to market your property, but it's a bad way to let the thief know that his whereabouts in the property as well. So take it with a grain of salt. Again, I'm not saying, I'm not trying to discourage nobody from doing marketing, flyers, pictures, 3D tours, virtual tours, and all that good stuff. But again, just keep in mind that, you know, to always keep away or move any hidden or any valuables from those pictures as well. Okay, paintings, jewelry, stuff like that. So please be very careful with that. Okay. So when it comes to excluding any information from the MLS on your car form SELI, okay, keep in mind that yes, same thing. A seller, I'm sorry, a buyer will not be able to locate that property. They could find it, they could pinpoint it, right? But they don't know where the actual whereabouts of that property if they're excluding the addresses from the home. Same thing with pictures. Again, how do you expect to like this property again? And yeah, it shows really nice and everything else, but there's no pictures. Okay. Now, let me go back a little. Let me just sidetrack a little bit. Now, let's say that seller does not wanna, he's okay with marketing the property. He wants to expose it, market the property. How many pictures do we need to have in the MLS? How many pictures do we need to have?
Minimum one.
One. Mhm.
One, exactly. And what, and that picture should be of what? Of the interior, the exterior?
The exterior, the front.
Yes, Carolina, exactly. If you're only gonna put only one picture, it always needs to be the front of the house. Always. Thank you, Carolina. It always needs to be the front of the house. Okay. Now, keep in mind, if you take a picture or a photographer takes a picture of the front house and that picture, it has your yard sign, okay, A yard sign is the one that has your, right, that is for sale from Berkshire Hathaway Home Services with your name in it, right? That is going to be called on the MLS, and most likely you will get fined. Let me repeat myself. Okay, do not take a picture of your house with the yard in it, because if you upload that picture with a yard sign and it has Berkshire Hathaway, you will get fined. Okay, the MLS is to be non-mark sponsored or non-marketed by any brokers. So your job is to block out that signage, okay? Because if you do, you will get fined, okay? But again, it's just a tip for you guys to be aware. But the best way is always to take a picture with no signs or signage, okay, on the property. But it needs to be what? The front of the house, okay? And please do not use Google Maps. Do not use any other picture from any other broker. If it's at one point listed, okay, you need to get your own picture, okay? Because if you use a Google Maps picture or another listing picture from maybe a canceled expired, okay, same thing, you will get fined, okay? And the penalties are pretty steep, okay? They could go up to $1,500. Okay, again, they can go up to $1,500 for those fines, okay? So please keep that in mind, okay? Any questions on the pictures, the signage, branding, okay? Non-branded, okay? All right, so one picture, but again, I strongly and encourage all of you guys to please at least have 5 to 10 pictures, okay? Now, if you're gonna go and take pictures of the property, okay, please let your people know, your sellers, that you're gonna come by and take pictures. So they could do the beds, they could do the dishes, they could clean up, and the house is nice and tidy, nice and clean, okay? It looks awful, okay, and it gives a bad name to Berkshire and to you when you take pictures of properties, then of beds, they're not done, when the sink is full of dishes, when the rooms are dirty, right? Please try to avoid those mistakes, okay? And also, please do not allow people to come into the pictures or photo bombs those pictures for you guys, okay? Make sure it's only that room, that bedroom, the bathroom, the kitchen, the living room. That's it, nothing else, okay? I seen pets, we seen people eating. Again, please, folks, take good professional pictures. If you don't, again, use your iPhone. If you don't have an iPhone, hire somebody to come take pictures. But again, make sure they're professionals and nice and clean, okay? Because the last thing you want is to have an old, beat up home, okay? That looks all trash. All right, I have something in the chat box. Let's see. It says here, Rodrigo Yala, just hire me, okay, Rodrigo? So if you need a photographer, you can hire Rodrigo. And Rodrigo, how much do you charge, Rodrigo, for pictures?
I'll do it for free. Just invite me to the next open house you guys have. We'll call it square.
There you go. So Rodrigo, please go ahead and share your email or your phone number. So in case you have any people who they need your services for free and invite you to the open house, they can call you. There you go. 562-474-5513. And use my company, which is https://www.dysphoto.com. So dysphoto.com. Thank you, Rodrigo. All right, there you go. So Fee, there you go. So he's our agent from Downey. He's willing to learn. He's willing to be a team player to help you guys take great pictures. I mean, and I believe he has an actual Canon, right? An ELR camera. So
Yeah, I have a Canon Rebel.
Rebel, right?
Mm-hmm.
So those pictures will come on the bomb. Thank you, Rodrigo. All right, let's move on. Okay, when it comes to automated estimate of value, the ability to create an automated estimate of value or to link to another site containing such an estimate of value is the link to immediate conjunction to property display. Okay. Seller elects to opt out of certain internet features as provided on card form SELI or local equivalent form. Okay, we already talked about that. Okay. All right. Let's continue moving on. So when it comes to presenting the offers, okay, keep in mind that presentation of the offers, okay, all offers must be presented in the order they came in. Okay. All offers must be presented in the order they came in. Okay. You cannot pick the best ones and leave the worst ones to last, or vice versa. Okay. You can show them as they come, day by day, by the hour, or put them all together. Okay. Unless the seller has given you written instructions to the contrary. Okay. But you must present them as soon as possible. Okay. Unless, right, the seller has given you a written instruction to the contrary, right? So please keep that in mind. Okay. Now, when you guys present the offers, okay, please highlight all the locations that you believe is going to be a deal breaker. You believe you definitely get a counter back, okay, to the buyer. I'm sorry, from the seller to the buyer. Okay. So I'm going to go back to my purchase contract. Now, Naomi, I believe you have your RPA in front of you. Okay. And you have a highlighter or a pen or something. I'm going to go back to the RPA to give you guys notes. Okay. What to highlight, what to look for when you guys are doing the presentation of the offers. Okay. So let's go back to your RPA. Okay. Because I want you guys to be fully knowledgeable. Okay. What to check and what to counter back on an RPA. So if you have in front of you, I hope you guys do. And I know Naomi has it. Right, Naomi? Okay. So, okay, this are going to be the items we definitely want to counter back. Okay. When it comes to the RPA. Okay. So here it goes. Take note, highlight, put a star, underline, or whatever you guys can help you guys. Okay. So first things first. Okay. Make sure the address is correct. Parcel numbers. Okay. This is your job. Okay. To always make sure address, city, county, and parcel number is correct. And make sure everything here is filled out as well. Okay. So, okay. Your job is to make sure everything's filled out correctly. Okay. Okay, let's see. I'm even gonna put names here. Okay, now if for whatever given reason, okay, that other agent did not put their boxes here, please check it for them. Please check their boxes, okay? Check their boxes, please, because I seen this also in Skyslope. You guys actually upload them without being a box being checked. But now, okay, here it is. I want you guys to highlight the price. Okay, highlight the price. That's gonna be your first thing to counter back. Okay, make sure if it's all cash. If it's not cash, then leave it alone. Next thing, highlight the close of escrow. Okay, so we're gonna highlight price and the close of escrow. Okay, also make sure to highlight the earnest money deposit. Okay, because if they're only giving you 10,000, okay, we want them to increase that deposit to at least 3%, right? We want them to increase their deposit to 3%. Right, 3%, right? Right there. Next one, check the loan amount. Okay, what type of financing it is, FHA, VA, or conventional. And you're gonna find out by what they have selected here. Now, if this is a FHA, most likely it's gonna be a what? 96.5. Okay, because right here they're coming with 10%. Leave that alone. Okay, that's the rates. Do not touch the rates. Okay. Okay, continue. Let's move on. On page 2, highlight their closing costs, if any. Highlight their closing costs, if any, right there. Okay. Second thing, check for their VP. If it's defaulted, leave it alone. Okay. Also check for any loan contingency, if it's selected or not. Okay. Also the appraisal as well. You can highlight every single contingency period here on the days. Maybe you wanna make it shorter for them. Okay. Depending on the days of escrow and the type of financing as well. Maybe you don't want them to go to 17 days. Maybe you want to go 14 days. Okay, you go always counter back that as well. Okay, all this right here. Okay. Time of possession. Okay, if it's leave it alone. Same thing. If it's in occupied. Okay, they're asking for it to be vacant or occupied. Highlight this as well. If it's in occupied or not. Okay, that's on page 2. Any questions when it comes to the counter offers on this page 2? We're good. Okay. Page 3. Okay. See and preview what are they asking to be included in the sale. They could put, actually they have probably selected stove, refrigerator, washer and dryer, dishwasher, microwave. Okay. You want to also select and highlight. Okay. Maybe your seller does not want to leave the stove, the refrigerator, the washer and dryer, the dishwasher, that microwave. Okay. So you got to counter all this back as well. Okay. Now, when it comes to the NHD, okay, who's going to pay for this? Okay. But most likely it's very common the seller does pay for the NHD. Okay. If they left this blank, okay, or put seller's choice, you also want to highlight this as well, because you don't want to forget when you do your counter offer, right, that you put the name of the NHD company who's going to pay for the services when it comes to the report. Okay. Now, term of report. Okay. Who's going to pay for it? The seller. You also highlight this as well. Highlight it. Does the seller want to pay for the term of report? Yes or no? Highlight it. Okay. Q4, leave it alone. It's always by customary to be paid by the seller. Okay. Any CD pre-sale, same thing. Leave it alone. Okay. Unless the seller, again, keep them when it comes to the CD pre-sale inspection reports. Okay. I do not allow, and Berkshire does not allow, okay, the seller to waive their CD pre-sale inspection report. Okay. So the seller needs to pay for this. Okay. Now, the buyer can waive, okay, those permits that need to be done. That if it's not up to code, okay, the buyer can waive, okay, the CD pre-sale report, but not the seller. Okay. Same thing here. Who's going to pay for the escrow fees? Make sure it's always each shall pay their own. Not both, but each shall pay their own. And same thing. If they left Castlehead escrow blank, or I'm sorry, the escrow blank, always highlight it as well, because you want to put that on your notes, who's going to be the escrow holder as well. Same thing with your title company, highlight it as well. Okay. And make sure it is the same thing seller, right? HOAs, city, that's okay, leave it alone. Same thing goes with the home warranty. Okay, the seller, how much to pay if they ask for $1,000, highlight it. Provider, highlight it as well. Okay, and choose your own provider as well. Okay, now if they have any other terms right here, well, same thing, highlight it as well. Okay, because again, if your seller wants to pay only for the report, but not for the completion for that report, you gotta let or her know, look, they want you to pay for the work and the term report as well. Okay. And anything else right there. Okay, that's it. Okay. And then go to page, I believe page 15, I believe it is. Okay. Page 15. And again, and we go through the pages, make sure everything has been initialed and signed, right? So right here, make sure they're not an entity, okay? And also make sure to select this box as a seller's counteroffer. Always make sure to select this box, okay? If it's a seller counteroffer, or also if it's a backup offer as well. Now, if your seller's an entity, on a trust, a probate, or power of attorney, same thing. Select, okay, as well. Select appropriate, depending on the. But again, do not forget to select seller's counteroffer. Okay. So, any questions when it comes to counter back to the buyer on page 1, 2, and 3?
I have a question, but on the opposite end,
On
as
what page?
representing the buyer.
Oh, okay. On page 15. Okay. Yes.
Well, over the counter, in addressing the counter,
Yes. Right here.
okay, so again, I know when you said property being sold as is means that, but they put it sold as is in caps. Like, does that
Okay.
mean that they don't want to do any repairs?
Okay.
Or what does that mean?
Okay, Naomi. So I'm sorry, Brenda.
I'm on the opposite end. Okay, I'm talking about the whole, like,
Right.
like if I was a seller and this was my counter, I'm looking at from the
So let me tell you why it's redundant to put on the property as is. Because if you notice here on page 5,
it's already
paragraph
like
7B, right? It's already there right here. Unless otherwise agreed, right? The property shall be delivered as is in its present physical condition as a date of acceptance. The property, including pool, spa, landscaping, and grounds, is to be maintained and substantially the same.
Okay,
So no need to put as is
okay,
because it's already here. Again, keep on. It's already been initialed and signed by both parties.
okay.
Now, if the seller doesn't want to pay for any repairs, then you can put it on your counter offer. Seller will not pay for any repairs or credit back to the buyers.
Oh, that's how I would
Yeah.
respond, like,
Yes.
okay,
Yeah, but then again, no need to put sold as is because it is
right,
as is already. So you could put
right.
seller shall not pay for any repairs or credits at all.
Yeah, they put as is. I
Yeah.
just thought that was kind of weird. And
is.
the part, okay, so I was just thinking with this when you respond back, we could talk about it after the class or whatever, but to respond back to this counter,
Okay. Yeah.
how to do that.
Okay. So send me the counter and we'll go through it after the
Okay.
class. Okay. So yeah. So again, folks, please keep in mind see, agents who put as is, it's because they haven't read the purchase contract. They don't know the purchase contract like we do, like you do. So there's no need to put, even in the MLS, property to be sold as is. It's already there. It's already there. Every property in California is sold as is. And guess what? Your buyer and seller are initially here at the bottom. Now, if they didn't read it, it's on them, but it's here. Okay. So I'm going to stop right here and continue next week. So any questions so far on, and we'll talk more on in detail on how to write a counter offer for future references as a selling agent and a buyer's agent. So any questions so far when it comes to the MLS, log boxes, listing terms, price, commissions, and everything else, and TC fees?
No, sir.
Good. All right. So we're good? Yes? Naomi? Brenda? Jorge? Carlos? Claudia?
Okay. I was just gonna say, as far as TC fees, it's probably best just to go ahead and pay for it out of your commission. If it's only like a few $100s, you know what I mean? Because right now, we still record.
Hold on.